Today, we're diving into the story of one of the most iconic symbols of freedom and democracy in the world, the Statue of Liberty. Have you ever wondered how this colossal copper lady came to stand tall in New York Harbor? Well, you're about to find out. It's a tale of friendship, incredible engineering, and a whole lot of fundraising. Our story begins not in America, but in France, in the 1860s. A French law professor and politician named Édouard de La Boulaye, a fervent supporter of the Union during the American Civil War, proposed the idea. He envisioned a monumental gift from the people of France to the United States to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and to celebrate the enduring friendship between the two nations. It was a grand idea, one that would symbolize the shared ideals of liberty and republicanism. To bring this vision to life, La Boulaye enlisted the help of a talented and ambitious sculptor, Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi. Bartholdi was captivated by the concept. He had previously proposed a giant lighthouse in the form of a robed female figure for the Suez Canal, so the idea of a colossal statue was right up his alley. He traveled to the United States in 1871 to scout for the perfect location. The moment his ship entered New York Harbor, he knew he'd found it. He saw a small island, then called Bedloes Island, and imagined his statue standing there, greeting every ship that arrived in America. With the location set, the real work began. Bartholdi started with small-scale models and gradually worked his way up. The statue's design is rich with symbolism. The crown's 7 spikes represent the 7 continents and 7 seas. The tablet in her left hand is inscribed with the date of American independence, July 4, 1776, in Roman numerals. Her right hand raises a torch, a beacon of enlightenment and progress. And what about her feet? Hidden beneath her robes, she is stepping forward, breaking free from chains of tyranny, a powerful symbol of moving away from oppression. But how do you build a statue over 151 feet tall? You need a brilliant engineer. Enter Gustave Eiffel, the very same man who would later give Paris its famous tower. Eiffel designed the statue's ingenious internal framework. He created a massive iron pylon and a secondary skeletal structure that would act as a support system. This framework was crucial because it had to bear the weight of the statue's copper skin and allow it to withstand the strong winds of New York Harbor. The copper sheets, each about the thickness of 2 pennies, were hammered into shape by hand in a technique called repoussé, and then attached to Eiffel's iron skeleton. This design allowed the statue to be strong yet flexible. The construction was a joint effort. France agreed to pay for the statue itself, while the United States would fund the pedestal it would stand on. This led to one of the first major crowdfunding campaigns in history. In France, fundraising efforts included public fees, entertainment events, and a lottery. In the United States, however, fundraising for the pedestal lagged. Progress was slow, and it seemed the project might stall. This is where Joseph Pulitzer, the publisher of the New York World newspaper, stepped in. He launched a massive 6-month fundraising drive in 1885. Pulitzer promised to print the name of every single person who donated, no matter how small the amount. The campaign was a phenomenal success. Over 120,000 people, many of them schoolchildren and recent immigrants, contributed, raising the final $100,000 needed. It was a true testament to the public's embrace of the statue's symbolism. Meanwhile, back in Paris, the statue was being assembled. By 1884, Lady Liberty was fully constructed, towering over the Parisian rooftops. After a brief exhibition, she was carefully disassembled into 350 individual pieces and packed into 214 crates for her transatlantic journey. In June 1885, the French frigate Isère arrived in New York Harbor, carrying its precious cargo. The pedestal, a monumental project in its own right, was finally completed in April 1886. It was, at the time, the largest concrete structure ever built. Now, it was time for the grand reassembly. Piece by piece, the copper skin was attached to the iron framework. It was like putting together a giant 225-ton puzzle. Finally, on October 28, 1886, the Statue of Liberty was officially dedicated in a ceremony presided over by President Grover Cleveland. It was a day of celebration, marked by a parade, speeches, and the first ever ticker tape parade in New York City. Initially, the statue's color was a dull, shiny copper, like a new penny. But over the next 30 years, exposure to the air and rain caused a natural process of oxidation. This created a protective green layer, or patina, which is the color we're all familiar with today. This patina actually protects the underlying copper from further damage. Over the decades, the Statue of Liberty has become much more than a monument. It became a beacon of hope for millions of immigrants who sailed past her on their way to Ellis Island. For them, she was the first welcome sight in a new land, a promise of freedom and opportunity. The famous sonnet, The New Colossus, by Emma Lazarus, with its lines, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free," was added to a plaque on the pedestal in 1903, forever cementing the statue's role as a symbol of welcome. The statue has undergone several restorations to ensure her preservation. The most significant one was for her centennial in 1986. A Franco-American team worked for years to repair and replace parts of the internal structure, and the original torch, which was corroded beyond repair, was replaced with a new one covered in 24-karat gold leaf. The original torch is now on display in the museum on Liberty Island. Today, the Statue of Liberty is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, visited by millions of people each year. She has stood witness to over a century of history, weathering storms and watching the world change. She remains a powerful and enduring symbol, not just for Americans, but for people all over the globe who cherish freedom, hope, and democracy. Her story is a reminder that great things can be achieved through friendship, ingenuity, and the collective effort of ordinary people. Thank you so much for joining me on this historical journey. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more stories like this. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video.